Welcome to our first podcast on the theme of risk takers. How Edmonton area entrepreneurs are taking personal and business risks to pursue their unique visions. I'm here with Frickin Delights Donuts in Devon, Alberta with Mandy. And Mandy and her partner Corey have an amazing story, beginning with a leap of faith to pursue their entrepreneurial dream. This initial leap has been followed by a series of great opportunities and great risk and great challenges, but I'm getting ahead of the story. So, morning, Mandy.
Good morning.
I met you years ago, you and Corey years ago, at the Strathcona Farmers Market, and you've seen a lot of challenges and taken a lot of risks. Let's start with the story about what you were doing before you got the entrepreneurial bug and when it bit you, and what was your first leap of faith?
Oh, wow. Well, thank you first for sitting down and talking to me today. It means a lot, and I really appreciate your interest in our story. Okay, so what were we doing before I took the first leap? I was a healthcare assistant or a nursing assistant on the night shift out in Stony Plain, and Corey was an electrician. Mm-hmm. And I woke up one morning after we went vegan. I think we were vegan for probably about a year, and we took a trip to Seattle, and I had my first vegan donut, and I realized that nobody was doing that here back at home. And so that was kind of like the first little spark that I had. Okay, well maybe there's something there. Mm-hmm. And then I arrived to work in January, and it was the first layoff that I've ever encountered in my life, in my working time, and that really kind of nudged me in that direction. I didn't like the rug being pulled out from underneath my feet. Yeah. When I was working as hard as anyone could work and under not so great working conditions. So when I received the layoff, I took the opportunity to take a day shift. And it was by May that I handed in my resignation, because I had taken 4 or 5 months to develop a plan of exit and cash in on my RSPs, my savings, and make it happen. Mm-hmm. So I have several interesting stories. Which one would you like?
Well, I know you had something going on at the Strathcona Farmers Market.
Yeah.
But then you had this desire to open your own place, and you had a vision of what that was.
Yeah.
And it came pretty close to not happening.
Right. No, and I mentioned to you this morning that it came up today that 2 years ago, after experiencing several layoffs in Corey's profession and we basically were reduced to almost losing our home, our mm-hmm. vehicle, everything that we had worked for as a young couple. It was we were about to lose it all. So we had to make a lot of really difficult decisions. We realized that our house was not going to sell in that market, and we took the for sale sign down. We decided that we were going to make some very risky financial decisions, mm-hmm. And see if they would work for us. And then ultimately we decided that we were going to move to Victoria, BC. Yeah. I saw an opportunity to finally open a shop there. So we packed up the truck, we put the house in Rubbermaid bins and put them in the garage, and put the for sale sign back up in April. And a week before we were getting ready to leave, I drove past a little cafe and I saw a for sale sign in the window. And we went in and spoke with the owner, and it kind of started from there. And it was a long journey, even getting into a storefront. So, yeah.
And how did you feel at the time? Like
scared. That is just pure fear. That's your own. You're battling your own psyche. You're grappling with. I think when an entrepreneur is born, when they realize that they don't have security in a 9-to-5 job, mm-hmm. And then you kind of have to examine yourself and say, okay, well, what are my fears? Am I afraid of working hard? No. Am I afraid of it all falling apart? Yes. Am I afraid of leveraging everything that I own in order to make this happen? Yes. Do you start examining the failure rates of food businesses? Yes. Do you start examining your niche and what you've decided to do, and how are you going to make it successful? Yes. So it's a roller coaster ride in that decision, but ultimately what you're doing is you're grappling with your own fears.
So you did your homework, you worked hard,
yeah,
and yet you also got into action. Now,
yes.
Fear can paralyze entrepreneurs, and
Absolutely.
paralyze anybody. What's your suggestion to people when they get that feeling?
Okay, well, it's even scarier when the bank says no. It's even scarier when you've designed a plan and then you go to a financial institution and they go, yeah, no, you're crazy. Like, this isn't gonna, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
We can't do this.
Yeah.
Then you go home and you sit with that fear and that's when you find out who you are. You decide what you're made of. And that's when you get creative.
Yes.
That's when you get some ingenuity cells start developing and running through your veins. And you go, okay, no is not, and I'm not tolerating no. I can't accept no because I'm not going to sit down. I'm going to stand up. So that's when you get creative. And that's what we did. We got creative when the bank said no.
Wow, how'd you get creative?
I was in a situation where the owner needed to leave this place and I needed in. And I knew that if I got in, and I cleaned it, and I made it my own, and I had the help of a very dear friend, another entrepreneur. I knew that I could write her a check in a few months. So I sat with her, I was honest with her about our position, and I said, I can make this money and buy this business from you, but I need a couple of months to run. And I'll move in, I'll pay the bills, I'll take it over, but I will write you that check.
Yeah.
That's a scary moment.
Yeah.
Because that's when you go back to your handshake is your word. And you're dealing with that person as a person. There's no financial institution, there's no paperwork, there's no nothing. My lawyer thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
But she knew. She spent time with Corey and I. And she gave us the keys, we moved in, we started paying the bills, and in December I finally got a financial institution to say, yeah, you're worth it, we're going to take a risk on you.
Excellent.
And I had interest, but it was high interest.
Yeah.
They wanted to make money off of us, and I fought through that. I said, no, I deserve a good situation here for my little business. I deserve to be in a position of power, not a position where I'm I have another boss.
Yes.
So I fought for that.
Excellent.
So even though someone says yes, it's not always a good situation. You have to fight further for what's right for you.
Right.
And that'll carry through to you, through your product, and then it'll carry through to your customer.
Yeah.
I believe in energy, and I believe it is a forward motion. So you have to do what's right for you first, and then you do what's right for your product,
Yeah.
and you stand behind your brand, and then it carries through your business, and your reputation takes care of itself.
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah.
And the risks haven't stopped. Like
No,
you've
every day.
expanded this place.
Yeah.
You're moving into Sherwood Park
Yes,
from Devon.
right. Well, even when the lease came up beside us here, that was last April.
Yeah.
So
You had to close your place down for a bit to do all that.
Well, here's what they don't tell you about food. It'll cost you $30,000 just to make room for proper refrigeration.
Yes.
Nobody
Yeah.
tells you that.
No.
And the bank still isn't saying yes to us, no matter how much money we make. You have to prove yourself even further,
Yep.
especially in this economy.
Yep.
So you save the money,
Yep.
and you shut her down, and you
Yep.
pay for it out of pocket.
Yep.
And I still haven't developed that space, but I had to take it because that was the only way I could grow my business.
Right.
So you have to make those decisions. You have to balance them every day.
Yes.
And the second you stop looking, things go awry.
Yes.
So that was one of my personal weaknesses that I have to face every day is consistency. Can I do this every single day? Can I get up?
Yeah.
Sometimes I fail at it.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
this is why people come, is because there's something real happening here.
And you hit on three things that I use to help my clients: clarity, commitment, and consistency.
Yeah.
Clarity,
I
commitment,
love
and
that.
consistency. And that's fantastic. Well, it could go on for a long time, Mandy.
Right,
But
right.
I really enjoyed the conversation, and it's
Thank you.
great to have these. And, folks who are listening, if you enjoyed this podcast or you have any examples of how you or other businesses have taken risks to begin or to grow your business, please leave your comments below here. Or reach out to me at 780-995-4788, stumuir@pressic.ca. We would love to hear and share your story. Thank you so much, Mandy.
Thank you, Steve, so much. Thanks.